Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this COVID-19 and City News Briefing for Monday, September 28th. We will start with today's test results. These are system-wide numbers for Forest General, Merritt Health Wesley, Hattiesburg Clinic, Simri, and the Moffett Health Center at USM. As of this morning, 61,805 tests have been conducted. 6,726 of those have been positive. 54,612 have been negative. Our pending tests are 467. In the hospital today between Forest General and Merritt Health Wesley, 46 people are positive for COVID. That's about 5 under where we've been for the last 14 days, with another 5 under investigation. Of those 46, 13 are in the ICU. That's 3.5 under where we've been for the last 2 weeks. We have not been at this low of hospitalization. We had one day last week we were in the 40s. But it's been quite a while since early July that we've been at this low of hospitalization. We always say that what's necessary now is to keep total infection rates down, because if you have fewer people get infected, you have fewer people going to the hospital, fewer people end up in the ICU or worse. However, what we do know over the weekend, we had 6 new deaths in the last 4 days, and that's something that should concern us. 5 of those came from Forest County, and so totals to now 76 people in Forest County, Lamar, and 35. We do send our thoughts and condolences to those 6 families who lost people over the weekend. Statewide today, 190 new cases were reported. Of course, this is weekend test results, so you're always going to have numbers a little bit lower. 2 new deaths. Of course, both of those came from Forest and Lamar County. In our area today, Forest County had 9 new cases. Lamar County had 4, total of 13 in the metro area. Since this started, numbers are now for 2,509 in Forest County, 1,728 in Lamar. 4,237 total. Our 5-day average back up just a bit. However, with this first day in single digits in quite a while, we do have both Forest and Lamar counties under 20 in terms of 5-day rolling average. However, inside 14 days, we'll talk about this in just a little bit. Forest County up to 228 with this most recent addition. Lamar County is at 192. We are right at about where we were for Labor Day total in terms of the metro area in terms of inside 14 days. Compared to a week ago, we've seen an increase of over 80 in Forest County. This inside 14-day number, again, is the number of people who have received their positive test result in the last 2 weeks. It kind of gives you an idea of how many active cases you could have in your community. So potentially 80 more active cases today than we had a week ago. Lamar County, the number is about 72 actually, over where we were a week ago there. And so all told, right at 140 new cases, active cases, more than we had last week in the metro area. Hospitalizations, again, we told you those numbers have dropped. 46 now compared to 51 a week ago, 13 in the ICU compared to 14 a week ago. Our goals since the beginning of this have been to protect the vulnerable, prevent overrun of the health system, and continue to prioritize public health while giving the private sector the space to operate creatively. With that, we lean on the availability of testing. We lean on the wearing of masks. These last two kind of are interchangeable. We've been hearing from a lot of business owners. We know that folks are eager to continue seeing if we can open things back up, particularly on the nightlife side. However, we're going to continue watching our own data, and our local data is something that's been concerning, particularly over the last week, and I'll show you why. That inside 14-day number that I talked about just a while ago, it gives you an idea of how many active cases we could have. One concerning trend is that in Forest County, after almost a month and a half of just sort of a steady decline, over the last week, we're now at our highest point since September the 4th, which is right around Labor Day. Lamar County, that number, however, it's back at its highest point since August 14th, and that's when we were kind of on the downhill slide from that July. And the key here is not letting this thing get away from us. We don't want October to turn in to the new July, which is where we saw a month-long increase. We had to pull everything back. We don't want that, because October is typically a great time of year when a lot of things are happening. I know there are fewer things happening this year, but still, the weather's nice. You can get out. What we don't want is this to lead into some massive increase, particularly as we head into flu season. So we continue to tell you the same 3 things: wearing a mask, staying socially distanced, avoiding large crowds. Those are key individually and collectively for us to prevent seeing a July-type increase where we have to kind of pull things back, because no one wants that. We don't need this happening on our college campuses. We don't need this happening in our community, because hard decisions will have to be made. And particularly, Later this week, we will have to make some decisions on whether to continue the executive orders as they stand now, whether to try and open things up, but our numbers will dictate that. And so continue doing those three things: mask, social distance, avoiding large crowds. We have 3 days left in the census. Our response rate now is 56.6%. We'd love to hit 57% self-response. We are over where we were 10 years ago in terms of self-response, but we can do better. And so if you were living here April 1st, especially students, if you were an off-campus student and you didn't fill out your census form before you went home on spring break, I know we really didn't come back after that, HattiesburgCounts.com is the address that you can go to fill out your census form for you and your roommates. If you want to advertise this web address for coworkers and neighbors and fellow church members, we appreciate that as well. And some city news today. Right Way to Throwaway Day is happening this Saturday. This is usually held in April. However, with the pandemic, it was punted until this month. We really want to thank our county partners. Forest County, Chris Bowen's been a real champion of this, Lamar County as well. You'll have two opportunities this Saturday from 8 to 2. You can go to the Bobby Chain Airport, or you can go to the Lamar County Multipurpose Center in Purpose. The one thing about this one for COVID-19, they are asking that all of the materials that you bring put in the trunk of your car and the bed of your truck. We don't want things in the back seat because we don't want our workers having to lean in and grab things out, particularly in the middle of this pandemic. But Right Way to Throwaway Day is this Saturday from 8 to 2. I want to congratulate our high schools who pulled off victories in their football games on Friday night. Hattiesburg High took down Wayne County. I also want to congratulate PCS, Oak Grove, and Purvis. And finally, our act of courage. I want to thank Scouts Troop 90 for their work in helping pick up the Longleaf Trace extension from the train depot all the way to Chain Park. This is one of the more picturesque parts in the city of Hattiesburg. We appreciate these young folks getting out there, leading from the front, setting the example, and cleaning up this trail. Also, we mentioned last week that a lot of nonprofits and organizations have their big events in October because the weather is nice. However, because of COVID, a lot of these events are not happening in the same format as they have been before. DuBard School, for example, always had their speakeasy in October, always a really fun event. That can't happen this year. And so instead, they're doing a give back night at the Brass Hat in Midtown. So this Thursday, October 1st, have your happy hour there or go have your meal there. Part of the proceeds will go back to DuBard School. We all know the great work that DuBard School and the Children's Center do for our community. As we start the week, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself mentally and physically. Please wear a mask if you go out in public. Do only what is essential. Remember, you're safer at home. Have a great week.